taking time off the clock because Dr. Fauci has to leave in a couple of minutes. I'm done. I'm not getting into a back and forth with you. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, no, she didn't. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Amanya, and this is The Conservative Poet. Today, we are having chats. The press secretary has guests, the one and only Dr. Fauci, and another doctor. And so we're going to have a little preview of what the press secretary is up to with her guests. And so if you're interested in seeing that, stay tuned. So the press secretary loses her cool. She actually got, dare I say it, ghetto up in there. Yes, she did. She was doing all kinds of, yeah, we ain't gonna have none of that. Not when I'm press secretary. If I don't call on you, then you're not gonna talk. So the drama unfolded. She was being a mama bear protecting Dr. Fauci from questions. So let's get into it.
When you have seasons of very low flu, which got kind of bumped off the table by COVID, when you have respiratory illnesses that circulate, they sort of have...
So the COVID bumped off. It bumped off the cold. It bumped off the flu. So the COVID sort of just took over. It went away for a while. It just kind of submerged into the atmosphere of diseases because the COVID was here.
Niches that you very rarely have one and the other at its peak. So when we were at a peak with COVID, all the other respiratory illnesses, including RSV and including flu, were very, very low compared to over the last couple of years. In the peak of the COVID back in 2020 and 2021, we were having the lowest flu seasons on record. So it's not surprising that we're...
Why is that, doctor? Why? So that tells me that during times when we don't have things like the COVID, the flu could be dealt with. Or is it that you all push the COVID so much and yet the flu itself maybe is not as critical? I don't know. I feel like there's a disconnect somewhere between what you're saying and what we're experiencing, especially with this COVID.
We're testing. So when we're gathering at a family gathering for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or for any other day as we get into the winter, it makes sense that you might want to get a test that day before you come into a place in which you might be infected and spread it, or other people who might be there in order to protect. So masking is important, but you can count masking, vaccine, boosting, testing, all of that is part of the spectrum of protecting yourself and your family.
Say about the word mask now being a pejorative in some communities?
No, it shouldn't be. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, I know sometimes when you walk in and you have a mask and nobody has a mask, you kind of feel guilty. You shouldn't feel guilty. You look terrific. Right.
I have no problem if you're wearing a mask. Thank you.
You're being disrespectful. Hold on. Wait, I did not call on you, Stephen. Go ahead, Alex. You're next.
So my first question is...
Hold the presses. Hold the presses. Hold the goddamn presses. I did not call on you. Who the hell do you think you are? I run this show. When I call you, that's when you talk. No.
With some of these new subvariants coming along. And then my second question, Dr. Fauci, for you specifically, what was the most difficult moment of the pandemic response for you throughout the last 2.5 years?
I'll start with the first, and then obviously Dr. Fauci can answer the second. So the short answer is no. First of all, you can't predict with any certainty. So we don't know what Mother Nature is going to do. That said, these subvariants, obviously we're tracking them very closely. The good news.
Well, that's interesting that the doctor said that we don't know what Mother Nature will throw at us. I thought they knew everything. Hell, I thought they could control the climate. You know, they could control Mother Nature. Isn't that what they're trying to do? Isn't that what climate change is all about? Controlling Mother Nature? I have another thought. The COVID was not a Mother Nature dealing. This COVID came from a lab in Wuhan, in China. My thing is, why aren't these reporters asking Dr. Fauci, the man himself, the Wuhan man himself, why aren't they asking him about these things in reference to where the COVID came from? This guy is talking about Mother Nature. Mother Nature didn't cook up the COVID. It was cooked up in a Chinese lab in Wuhan.
At good numbers, if people get boosted, we can absolutely have a very safe and healthy holiday season. But there's always a caveat here of things out of the left field you can't predict and you can't. But nothing I have seen in the subvariants makes me believe.
Yeah, that left field, you can't predict it. Yeah, they didn't predict Trump, and they had to figure out a way how to tame Trump, and the COVID did it for them, baby. Yeah, that COVID that they cooked up in that lab, it sure did do it for them. And that's why we have this joke of an administration right now, thanks to the COVID and Dr. Fauci. It wasn't Mother Nature.
That we can't manage our way through it effectively, especially if people step up and get their vaccine.
So that's a really difficult question to answer, but the most difficult because, we've all lived.
Fauci, why is it so difficult? And you're the one who has the answers. You're the COVID man. You have the answers about where this thing came from.
Through almost 3 years of the most horrendous outbreak that we've experienced as a society in well over 100 years. But there are certain things that stand out. I mean, I could probably write an essay on all the things that were difficult time. But one of the things...
I'm sure once you leave here, you'll have several books on the subject so you can rake in more money. Doctor.
As a physician whose goal in life is to care for patients and to prevent and treat illness and ameliorate suffering, is that I
would beg not, Doctor. I don't believe so, Dr. Fauci Stein. I don't believe that. I don't believe that you're here caring for people and wanting to take care of people and wanting to, do these things in the name of being a doctor. No, Fauci. No, you didn't do that for the American people. Not just the American people, the world as a whole. You got a lot of questions, friend. You got a lot of questions to answer.
remember back in my days in medical school and when I was an intern and a resident, when a patient came in, whether or not the patient didn't like you, was angry with you, whether it was a rich person or a poor person, you treated everybody the same because you cared about them and you wanted everyone to walk out healthy.
So what happened then, Fauci? What happened? From the time of your residency and your time in your internship and to the AIDS epidemic, what happened then? And from I know, politics happened. And you became wealthy. And you became America's doctor. On the backs of people, or I should say on the coffins of people.
So when I see people in this country, because of the divisiveness in our country, of not getting vaccinated for reasons that have nothing to do with public health, but have to do because of divisiveness and ideological difference.
No, Dr. Fauci, we don't want the jab because we don't trust you. And we don't trust what's in it. You're a disgrace of a doctor. And you have no public trust. That's why nobody wants the vaccine.
As a physician, it pains me because I don't want to see anybody get infected. I don't want to see anybody hospitalized, and I don't want to see anybody die from COVID. Whether you're a far-right Republican or a far-left Democrat doesn't make any difference to me.
On the contrary, sir, I think it makes a hell of a difference to you because Dr. Fauci, you have been on every TV program, everything on the left. Hell, you've interviewed with YouTubers. Okay, you made time to talk to little YouTube channels. But you never went on a major network like Fox News. You've never talked to anybody that could challenge you, Doc, like Mark Levin. You haven't talked to anybody who's going to actually have a conversation with you and challenge you. I wonder if you ever even had a talk with Dr. Ben Carson. You know, I know you're both doctors in different fields, but yet the man is capable. Don't even think you've had a conversation with Dr. Ben Carson. The only people you've had conversations with, Dr. Fauci, is the people who will say, oh, Dr. Fauci, you're right. They're the ones you've had conversations with. Everybody that you've had conversation with is everybody on the left and the far left. And everybody else, to hell with them and their questions and their concerns.
Look upon it the same way as I did in the emergency room in the middle of New York City when I was taking care of everybody that was coming in off the street. So that's the thing that troubles me most about this.
Dr. Fauci, only 13% of...
Hold on 1 second. We have a process here. I'm not calling out on people who yell. And you're being disrespectful to your colleagues, and you're being disrespectful to our guests. I will not call on you if you yell. And also, you're taking time off the clock because Dr. Fauci has to leave in a couple of minutes. I'm done. I'm not getting into a back and forth with you. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Dr. Fauci,
how dare you? We're not going to do this. How dare you embarrass me in front of our guests? We have Dr. Fauci, the one and only Dr. Fauci in the building, and you want to show your ass. No. I'm going to handle you. Matter of fact, I want security to get you out of this building. No, you're done for. I'm not doing this with you. Back and forth. No, we're not going to do this. You're out of here. Oh.
Only 30.
You ask your question, you should allow her to answer.
It is not your turn. It is not your turn.
You can't be the press briefing. You need to call people across the room. She has a valid question. She's asked about the origin of COVID.
I hear the question.
Dr. Fauci is the best person to answer.
I hear your question, but we're not doing this the way you want it. This is a disrespectful. It is. I'm done. Simon, I'm done. Simon, I'm done. I'm done with you right now. Go ahead.
I am done with you right now. Who the hell are you? No, I heard the question. I heard it, but we're not going to do this. I know Fauci is the best one to answer the COVID questions. We know this, but we're not going to do this today. He's not here to answer questions about the COVID, not the questions that you have. He has a schedule to keep, and he has an agenda. We're not going to talk about where the COVID came from. Not today. I'm done with you.
You're taking time away from your colleagues. Go ahead.
Only 13% of adults have gotten this updated bivalent booster. 78% of adults have completed their primary series. Which of those numbers is more important as virus as we look in the next several years?
No, I did not imagine, and I don't think any of my colleagues imagined that we would see a 3-year saga of suffering.
I guess it wasn't in the plan, huh, Fauci, when y'all laid it out how this thing was going to roll out? Yeah, it wasn't in the plan. Thanks, Dr. Fauci. And thank you, Madame Karine Jean Pierre, for that entertaining episode. This is my show. I do whatever I want. This is my podium. I'm not going to do this with you. Dr. Fauci, you got a lot of explaining to do.